Awesome. Been waiting to open this one for a while. Just waiting so we could do a video on it. So this was, these are some aftermarket batteries in here. These were sent to me by VANON batteries. There's two 6 amp hour batteries in this package. Let's see what we got here. And I've never used aftermarket batteries on my power tools. So if you have, let me know what you think about them, and we'll see how these compare to my current DeWALTs that I have. So they went ahead and went with the black and yellow, just like the DeWALT. Matches, even got a battery gauge right here, like the 6 amp hour DeWALTs. So I'm really interested to see how these are gonna pan out for me. These are a lot cheaper. I'm gonna leave a link to this battery on VANON Batteries website in the description if you wanna see the price difference versus DeWALT. So, or whatever system. I think they have other power tool companies as well. And yep, same thing, VANON battery. So if these work out for me, I'm definitely gonna invest into them because batteries are really expensive. So this, I'll have an update on when we actually use them. I'm gonna charge those up and make sure they're good to go before I use them. So that said, you've seen the title of this video and you know what it's about. I went ahead and recently switched everything over to the DeWALT system. And let me just start by saying, none of these tools that I'm gonna show you were sent to me. I paid for them completely out of my own pocket. DeWALT has never spoken to me. And a lot of people think because you have a YouTube channel with some subscribers that every tool you get is free, but that's not the case. DeWALT has actually DeWALT from DeWALT's official Instagram asked me for my address and said, hey, we'll send you some stuff. So I gave them my address. I tagged them in one of my Instagram posts and they sent me a sticker that was this big that said DeWALT on it. And they sent me a koozie for your drink to keep your hand from not getting cold on your drink, and a hat that looks like a NASCAR hat. So that was, I thought they were gonna send me some tools, but hey, that's okay, I don't expect it. It was just like, cool, you know, DeWALT's gonna send me some stuff, but turns out it wasn't as cool as I thought. So all this stuff right here, I bought with my own money. I just want to throw that out there before we get started. I just want to make that clear. This is not a DeWALT commercial. That said, I have switched everything over to DeWALT and their FlexVolt system. Everything that I have now is brushless, and I've made the transition from just about everything corded to now cordless. So we'll start with the main reason I switched over everything, and that is going to be right here. This is a 12-inch dual bevel compound sliding miter saw from DeWALT. I'm probably at my last leg on this blade. I can get some use out of the original blades. This is probably the last day with this blade. I've got a Ultimate Flawless Finish Diablo in the truck, and I just need to switch that out. So yeah, this is the main reason I switched. Right now on this saw, I'm running the two 60-volt max 9 amp hour batteries. And those last me, with the way that I work on a typical, let's say, crown molding or baseboard job, those batteries are gonna last me 2 days of continuous cutting, which is completely acceptable in my opinion. And I do have the fast chargers from DeWALT. I bought those because I wanted to decrease the downtime between switching out batteries between tools. And before I bought the fast charger, I tried to charge one of those 9 amp hour batteries on the regular DeWALT charger that came with my drill, and it took 5 hours. That is ridiculous. So in my opinion, if you're gonna have these big batteries and you're gonna be on the job site, you have to use the fast charger for that. So this was the main reason I switched over. But this saw you can use as a battery powered, obviously, and corded. I don't know why, but for some reason when I have that power supply on to make this saw corded, when it revs up, it sounds really weird. I don't know if it's just mine, but it doesn't sound smooth at all. It has like kind of a weird startup to it, is how I would describe it. So that's kind of the only weird thing about this saw. But the good thing is I don't use it corded. I mean, I would use it corded like in an emergency situation if I just needed to make some cuts and my batteries weren't charged. But those fast chargers are really fast. I've never timed it, but I would guess 20 to 30 minutes is at the most. I couldn't be happier. I've been kind of going back and forth with companies as far as what tools I'm gonna buy, and I'm really happy that I made the switch to DeWALT. I got my Easy Speedy fence on here, a zero clearance fence, and then I don't use this hold down over here because the fence is higher and I'd never use it anyways, but I leave it on there because it's a perfect spot to put a coping saw and let it hang right there. So that's the main reason. And the second thing would be all of this. This just comes secondary. I've always had DeWALT stuff, but it's always been corded. And this table saw right here is, after using this thing for about 3 months, I have no complaints on it. I did have a 10-inch DeWALT corded table saw, and this is an 8 1/4-inch blade, but I find that it meets the needs for what we do. I mean, we're not really ripping huge sheets of plywood or sheet goods. We're mostly just running trim and 1x material through here. And if we do need to rip plywood and sheet good material, then we're gonna bring out the circular saw. Hopefully I want to eventually get a track saw, but need to recover financially before I can do that, and talk to my wife about that. And this thing is great. I love it. One thing I love about it is that it stops so much faster than my corded one. So listen to this. I'll start it up. You know, when you have those corded tools, they just keep spinning inside there. And I at least feel like that it keeps throwing dust all around. And this is just really compact and convenient, fits in the back seat of the truck along with the miter saw. Now, as far as the hand tools are concerned and the power tools that I use, I keep them inside this foot locker here. It's actually not a foot locker, it's actually called a welder's box, and it's made from DeWALT. And let's look inside of it. This isn't just limited to DeWALT stuff. I really love this rigid sander as well. But this is where I keep basically all the tools that I'm gonna use every day on a job site. And typically we'll carry this inside and just have everything inside all in one trip from the truck to inside the house. We'll put a drop cloth down and set this on the floor. And it's been working out great. It keeps everything in there. It has a nice lock here where I can lock it and no one can get into it. I don't leave this on a job site typically, but just even in the truck, I keep this thing locked up just in case someone gets any funny ideas. I had to add this, well, I didn't have to, but I added this piece of foam. I just bent it in this L shape and glued it on there with CA glue on both sides. I did it over here as well. And I didn't like the way this thing just was real rattly when it closed. It was real loud, probably like this. Like, I didn't like that about how it closed, so I made it softer. And then inside of here, I put the same material on the bottom because I didn't like everything just like rattling around and sliding while I was driving. So this is the foam flooring that people put in their garages. I just cut it out to fit inside here. So yeah, inside of this, what is called a welder's box, where I keep all my tools, we'll just start with this blower. Pretty basic tool. Right now I've got a 9 amp hour battery on there, and there's no particular reason for that. That's just the battery that I grabbed to blow off some dust from the job site earlier. And pretty basic tool there. So that's what I keep in there. Then I keep this jigsaw. Really like this jigsaw. All this stuff is a few months old for me, so it all looks pretty new and clean. But I'm really liking this jigsaw. Really like the quick blade change, just by opening that, pulling out the blade, and then having that quick blade change is awesome. No complaints on this. Feels really good in the hand, and super happy with the ergonomics of that. Then this is probably my favorite purchase from this whole thing, next to the saws over there. As far as the hand tools, this thing is my favorite. It's just absolutely amazing. I never thought I would put away my compressor, but this has put my compressor in the back of the truck, and we have not brought it out in months, I'm gonna say. And then here's our multi-tool. We use this a lot as well. Very convenient to have this cordless, because a lot of times you're trying to get this in tight places and make those little trim cuts on existing trim inside of the house. And it's an amazing tool. Brushless, it's amazing. Here's the fast chargers. These I highly recommend. I think these are a necessity for this FlexVolt system. You're just not going to get that charge out of something like this. I keep these around just for if I want to charge my drills or something, my drill batteries, while these are charging or taken up by another tool. But honestly, I could probably take these out of here because I haven't used them. I charge everything on these fast chargers, and I have 2 of them. So there they are. Now, one thing I will say, I'm not really sure how much money I spent on all this stuff, but if I had to guess, it'd be somewhere close to pushing over $3,000. But one thing I did, and I'll tell you this, if you're living in America, at least this is my experience, and you want to save substantial taxes, buy this stuff from Canada. And that's what I did. I went to tool dealers online, and I bought basically everything you see here from Canada, and I didn't pay 1 penny in taxes, because that's how the online marketplace works for some reason. And that's a really good tip to know, because you know, I've saved hundreds of dollars on taxes alone. So just throwing that out there. Next in here, I have my rigid trim router, which is corded, which I know they make this thing cordless now, and it just stinks that I bought this already. So yeah, that's that. Just this drill that came with my lunchbox. Not really my favorite drill. It's probably their lowest quality one, but it came with the cooler lunchbox. Impact came with the lunchbox as well, the cooler lunchbox. I like the impact. It's really a good impact. And then angle grinder. Use that for some coping. Rigid sander, orbital sander. And here's that power supply I was talking about for the miter saw. It's a corded power supply, and that just clips in where the batteries clip in, and that way you can use this as a corded saw, which, like I said earlier, mine sounds real funny, and I'm not really a fan of that. I don't like the way that it sounds. And then this is I just keep this in here to protect it. This is my green line laser chalk line. And that is it. That's what I keep inside here. That's my DeWALT tool arsenal, in no particular organization. I just put this stuff in here and grab it as I need it. And it all fits in here nicely with room to spare. This is the biggest battery on the market right now currently, this 9 amp hour 60 volt max from DeWALT. But what I like about this is that it'll just run like crazy on any of these hand tools. You might as well be corded with this. Now, it is going to make tools substantially more heavy, especially noticeable with the nail gun, but it doesn't really bother me. The only way it bothers me is when I'm hanging crown, and we never use this battery to hang crown, so this is a bit of an exaggeration, but this is not comfortable. I mean, even just in my hand, it feels unbalanced. I don't like that for this nail gun. On every other tool though, whether it's an impact, a jigsaw, this blower, it feels fine. It actually feels better. So other than the nail gun, I like the 9 amp hour batteries on everything else. So this right here is our go-to battery for the nail gun. And this is the one that came with the nail gun. And to me, it's the best one for it. That's my favorite setup right there. It feels great. So as far as my system is concerned right now, I have 3 of these 9 amp hour batteries, 1 of the original 6 amp hour batteries from DeWALT, and as you've seen me just open, 2 of these 6 amp hour batteries from VANON batteries, and I'll let you know how these go. So there you have it. That's my DeWALT arsenal as of right now, and I'm satisfied. I have everything that I need to run a smooth job right now. I already did before, but it's always nice to upgrade your stuff. Whether that's DeWALT, Milwaukee, Rigid, whatever it is for you. I don't really have brand loyalty. I just chose DeWALT, and I'm gonna stick with them. So hope you enjoyed checking out my power tool arsenal from DeWALT and Rigid. and we'll see y'all on the next video. Take care.